about, you mentioned it, A Boy Called Christmas. So the trailer for that, and it's a great trailer as well, that dropped
Thanks.
in December,
It did.
just last year. Looking ahead though, because it's not been affected by the pandemic. The plan was always to release it 2021. It was
That's
just
right.
a nice little taste for people going, okay. So, I mean, you mentioned the Britishness of the film, and you look at that cast. So, I mean, if you're sort of trying to assemble national treasures, wow, you got Jim Broadbent, you got Dame Maggie Smith, Sally Hawkins, you're working with Toby Jones again. I mean, and then obviously, as you said, there's Kristen Wiig is in there. And,
I mean, Stephen Merchant plays an outsized role as Mika the Mouse in it. And I mean, I am a massive fan of British popular culture. I was weirdly raised because my father grew up here. And so I was raised on a sort of steady diet of Monty Python, Benny Hill, Dad's Army, Hello, Hello, Are You Being Served? Like, there was this weird thing in Los Angeles for expatriates where they could continue to get gray market British television fare, drama and comedy from these sort of continental shops that are dotted around the city. It's this untold weird story. But my dad would go into town and come back with a paper bag, and it would be like contraband. He would open it up, and they would just be selling, like somebody would bring over in their suitcase whatever the newest comedies were on television. Anyway, so the
we had the reverse of that. We had the reverse of that, where like you'd be sitting in the beer garden of a pub or something. I remember like there'd be a guy who just showed up shuffling around the tables with the latest American blockbusters, like on these like dodgy DVDs going, do you want this? And like, you know, it was illegal, and I can hold my hands up and say I never did it. But there is that moment where a guy is sort of pulling out, like, you know, like a copy of like Jurassic Park, and you're like, this shit, what the hell? And you're like, I want it, but I'm not going to do it. But yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I know. It's like, it definitely feels old world now, this idea that you needed a physical object that was brought over from another part of the world. Yeah. It's just like, it's almost quaint and romantic now, the concept. But anyway, so the result of it is that I did grow up with the work of a lot of these actors. I mean, you know, the Prime of Miss Jane Brodie was a film that my parents loved, and I saw a lot growing up. Mike Leigh's films, were really important to me in my sort of filmmaking awakening. And so I knew Jim Broadbent's work and have loved his work forever. Sally Hawkins, is a contemporary. Actually, we were born in the same part of London in the same year. Wow. So we both grew up in like Blackheath, Greenwich area. There's a chance we played in the same sandbox as infants.
Oh, wow.
And so she's one who I've just like idolized as an actor, as a contemporary actor. But the result of it is that I've been a passionate fan of the work that these actors were made their name on. And when it was time to assemble my British film, it was like a candy shop for me, you know, and I was really lucky to be able to get all of these actors together.
It's an incredible, I mean, the book that it's based on, I've actually read Matt Haig's book. It's you know, it's a packed market, the Christmas movie market, because I think it's, you know, like having a Christmas movie, because Christmas is that time of year. In the same way, like we listen to the same Christmas songs every year, people have their go-to Christmas movie. So it's like going, right, this going to be a new Christmas classic?
Oh, I mean, you know, you don't start making something without hoping it's going to be really good. Yeah. So I'm biased. I made it because I fell totally in love with the story, and because, like anything that I do, I was able to visualize myself seeing it as a pure younger audience member, and feeling like it was exactly the sort of experience that would move me or affect me or make me, fall in love with movies. And so I was able to very quickly read into it the hallmarks of the things that get me excited as a storyteller, and luckily, because I had great producers and in Matt Haig, an incredibly willing collaborator, I was able to develop the story into the kind of movie that I'm still pinching myself that I got a chance to make. It was my favorite experience of making anything.
Wow.
I've had the best time making this movie.
That's great to hear, because I mean, there's one moment in the trailer, and I watch trailers, and there's a bit where I'm like, yeah, I know when I see this film, that's the bit where I'm going to well up, because it's a combination of animals and magic and childlike wonder. And it's the bit where Blitzen takes flight in the trailer. And I was like, oh my God, I know that's going to be a hit point for me on an emotional level when I see the film.
Well, you've read the book, so without spoiling anything, Matt Haig's secret is that he has a deep well of human experience to draw on as a writer, in that he doesn't flinch away from the full human condition. And it's the sort of thing that actually was why I wanted to start telling stories in the first place, and really why like Monster House worked for me as a first film and as a calling card for the sort of stories that I was interested in putting on screen, which is like not taking younger audiences for granted, their ability to understand all the aspects of a story, including the darker or sadder aspects. As long as you can make it a good time at the movies, entertain them, and give them thrills and chills, what makes an experience lasting or meaningful is when you can dip down before you swell back up. And so Matt has that because of his human experiences, because of his point of view as a writer. He was able to infuse that into this book in a way that made it not like another trite bit of Christmas bauble that you take out and string up on the tree and then put away again. It felt like a story that was actually connecting on a level that felt earnest and well earned. And so I was able to like really sink my teeth into exactly what you said. Empathy through animal relationships, which is a major factor in my day-to-day life. Even if I wasn't a filmmaker, that would still be one of the main modes of emotional language that I have, is looking for a creature that I can look in the eye and hug if I'm so lucky. That's like my, I've been known to pull a car over on the side of the road to meet a goat. And that's, so I had like, you spoke about the human actors in this film. The animal cast in this film is one of the things I'm most proud of in my career. I had an insane director in a candy shop moment of the animal casting sessions where they would, my wife still makes fun of me because I'm like, no, that duck is too tall. Like, I want to bring me another duck that's a little fluffier. It's like just crazy shit. But anyway, I'm excited for you to see the film and for it to see the light of day, because I'm hoping that with it there's like a full experience for an audience.
It's